Howdy. In today's episode, myself and Jack discuss the full Premier League table predictions, who we think the first manager will to be sacked, and much more. We've left a link in the description for all our predictions, and we would like you to try it yourself. So, check the link down below and comment down below what you think will happen, and we'll all come together in unity at laughing about how bad we did by the end of the season. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Hello and welcome back to episode 6 of the Tiki Chatter podcast. I'm joined together as ever with Jack.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm here.
Are you feeling better?
Fine. I'm feeling a lot more awake than the last episode.
Yeah, that's
I wasn't off an all-night bender.
I'm fully happy to accept the fact that Jack very much carries this podcast with his encyclopedic knowledge of everything
And
football.
if I'm not fully awake, the brain's not in motion,
Exactly.
is it?
And he can talk for England, so built for a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like the poor man who I spoke to at Mile Oak Football Club the other
Shout
day.
out to what's his name? Nick.
Nick had a very long conversation with him about Crawley Town.
Little
the non-league team.
Sneak peek. We actually filmed the Mile Oak game, and we will be introducing. Well, it'll probably already be up. The non-league football review show. So
yeah, of course.
Let us know how you enjoyed that.
I don't feature that much in it.
No,
because
you were busy with your new boyfriend.
I was busy with the bloke, and I was chonging cans of Kronenberg. Still haven't paid you for, actually, Andy. So
that's fine.
£6 no,
consider it your hire fee.
Oh yeah, it's not a bad shout, actually.
In today's episode, we are going to be running through our bold and brash predictions of the upcoming Premier League season.
I've got some mad ones in the locker.
Yeah, these don't always go well. We'll probably get loads wrong.
I'll probably get not a single one right.
And,
I think I've got one definite.
Yeah. Well, there's some easy ones, but we're going out on a whim here with a few of them. So let us know what you think of each prediction.
Try not to take too long, like the season review as well. On every single team.
I'm going to put the layout in the description, so if you want to have your own go, go ahead. I'd very much enjoy reading those. So we're going to start off with the full table. Yep, the full table. It's 1 in 20 chance, but
get my Word document up.
We're going to start off at rock bottom.
Okay.
Now, Jack, we'll take turns on saying first.
Yep.
You go first. Number 20.
Right. Number 20, I've gone for West Brom. Have actually made a very good signing. I don't think it's confirmed yet in Grady Dienenga, whatever his name is. Can't say it.
Not confirmed yet, no.
Yeah, not confirmed, but that is a very good signing. But I still think, even with that, they'll finish rock bottom.
Also signed Pereira.
Yeah, good play, good attacking, but it's a championship team, and they dragged themselves out of the championship. They were not good when they came up, and they came up losing. No, they drew, and the only reason they
definitely dropped off towards the end, but they did. Start
because Brentford were bottlers, and that's why, West Brom went up. So for me, not a huge hope for them. I think they've got a lot of championship players in that 11. They're starting 11. Charlie Austin, the reason he's dropped down, I can't see him doing much better if he comes up. I do like Semi Ajayi, though. That's a good centre-back they have. Man of the match performance at Rotherham away once, Andy, was present for as well. So,
oh, God, that will try to forget that. So my number 20 is going to be Fulham for similar reasons. Championship team. They haven't signed anyone big. Scott Parker, relatively untested, certainly in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't think they've got the quality. 19, I'm going to go with Crystal Palace. Now,
Ooh.
yeah, call me Brighton biased, but I think Palace have got a very old squad. We've been through this on previous podcasts.
Yeah.
Roy Hodgson's about 87 years old.
They ended the season like a car crash.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Roy Hodgson, great in his day, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah. I still think he's done very well over the last few seasons because
Yeah.
I've actually picked exactly the same, Andy. 19.
Love it. Yeah, just not.
No, I'd agree with all your points. I think they've got to drop sooner or later. They're not chucking in the big money.
Disclaimer:
do,
we're saying this 4 weeks from the end of the transfer window,
yeah.
so
And
could prove
actually,
us wrong.
this view is endorsed by the Palace fan, I know. So to show that I'm not biased that they're going to go down, he also believes.
Is that Mr. Royston by any
That
chance?
is Mr. Royston.
Shout out, Ollie.
Yeah, shout out Ollie Royston. I do think Easy's a really good signing.
Yeah,
really fantastic player.
But
it's
just one. We need. They need more.
I think Ferguson's not a bad buy. Obviously, questions over his injury problems. Why West Brom were willing to let him go for free, rather than even than getting a fee for him.
Yeah, especially as they've gone up. If he's a Premier League player.
Yeah, they definitely want to be keeping him.
Yeah.
So I have to say that's a bit of a strange decision, but I don't think he's a terrible player. But they just, Sakho's past his best. Benteke's cart horse these days.
They need a whole new defence.
Up and coming. Van Arnholt can't defend. Don't think he's a terrible player, but he can't defend. Townsend's not what it used to be. So yeah, for me, 19th Crystal Palace.
18th for you, Jack. Who's that going to be?
So I've gone for Aston Villa. Actually, I think it all does very much depend on Grealish. Very heavily, but he did carry that team last season, and I think they got so much players and spent so much. It was just a mess of a side for them. There was no consistent 11, especially up front. I don't think they've bought anyone to particularly impress me over the last season and this window. Matty Cash today, it's not a bad decision, but he's a player who doesn't really have a fixed position, which is obviously not amazing because he doesn't seem to fit in any of the holes. But I think if Grealish stays, he obviously carries that team. Yeah. Very happy with the England squad. I think that's fully deserved, even though I don't.
Took a while.
Took a while for them to let him in, but he's a good player. But yeah, I just think they don't really have a clear strategy. Obviously, they sacked their director of football or.
Don't really have an out-and-out goal scorer, really.
No, they don't. Except for Jack Grealish once again.
Yeah. But out-and-out goal scorer, is he? Not really.
No. And I think the way they sort of it's just a mismatch. There is no best 11 for me. So I think they'll struggle early on, and then it just depends on their recovery, really.
Yeah. So 18th.
To another prediction there.
Also, getting relegated is for me. It's going to be Newcastle.
Oh, interesting.
They haven't signed. Well, to be dependent on Joelinton, Mutu, and Dwight Gale for another season.
Jeff Hendrick's not a bad signing.
Jeff Hendrick's great signing, but
Ryan Fraser apparently in the
they've got Almiron in that position. They've got Matty Longstaff. They got Shelby. Yep. He doesn't really add anything to the team. I think they need defenders. I just think, Steve Bruce.
Fair enough. You can hear my opposing.
Steve Bruce. Need I say more? To be
honest, I think he's done a very good job though, Steve Bruce.
I also think the fact that they didn't get their takeover is going to be heavily affect their.
Yeah, it's gonna hang over them. I would agree with that. So 17th,
Burnley. Again.
Ooh, interesting.
I'm basing this on the fact that they have a poor start. Sean Dyche decides he don't want to stay.
They prove everyone wrong every year.
Yeah, I mean, hey, do it. But I want Burnley to go down. I think, that doesn't put them down, but I want them to suffer because
It's their time.
not
To
a
be
huge
fair,
fan.
I don't have a great deal of issue with them as a club, but I do think it does need to be their time.
When a club like Burnley is so reliant on effort and
Mm,
bad players punching above their weight, it's just a
yeah.
matter of time
But the thing is,
before.
it works very well. The football they play works very well to get them to the position they want to be on. But as a club, do you want to kick on, or do you just want to go down? Because I just don't think they're ever got to that stage where they kick on. I have
Yeah,
to say they were quite a hard pick for me because I haven't gone for them as a
yeah.
team.
They from about 17th to 10th, I could say each each team could be swapped
Yeah,
around. So yeah,
yeah. I think definitely. I think 18th to 9th for me could be
yeah. All
any
right, yeah.
combination.
18th
But
as well.
because I think that last relegation place, as seen this season, is very much the sort of
A bit
one which no one's
slugger.
really sure about.
Yeah.
That's a slogger. There'll always be someone, maybe one or two, which are just
Mm.
down. Norwich, but I think like Villa just managed to save themselves. So I think Burnley potentially could end up in that position, but I'm not. I'm not holding out there. I've gone for Fulham in 17th.
17th. Oh, okay. Just
Yeah,
scraping
I
it.
do agree with your points, but I do think they're better this season. I think it'll do them a world of good to just keep a consistent squad. Unlike last
Yeah.
time where they tried to buy their way up to 15th, 16th, and it just didn't work. It was a completely ungelled squad, and they don't have a terrible side at the core. Players like Mitrovic, great player. I think Hector did very well in Championship last season. A couple of good midfield
Yeah.
players. So whether they loan out Knockout to the Championship again when he inevitably comes up and is inconsistent, or when he inevitably scores the winner against
Well,
Brighton.
yeah. Knowing a Fulham
He won't
fan,
celebrate. I love him. He's a good man. He wouldn't do
he
it.
can't.
I trust him.
They've got that midfielder Edwards. And we're back after a quick Wikipedia search, and we've decided it was Onuma who's the
Onuma,
mustard player.
former Spurs player. I think he did well. Good move for him. I think wasn't really getting in the Spurs team. So I think they've got a good core, and I think that'll be what keeps them up if anything does. Is the core team which sticks together, and I think they're doing it the right way this time, as opposed to spending money on Schürrle and obviously great players on their day, but don't work as a team. So
He's retired now, funnily enough.
yes, I believe he has, hasn't he? So
Yeah.
and your 17th, Andy?
Mine was Burnley, so we're on to the 16th.
Oh yes, sorry.
And
16th. So yes, Andy.
that it's your turn to go first, mate. So
Is it? Well, I will go with Leeds United.
okay, yep. This is where it's going to get very, very close.
Yeah, I'm not. This is so. Leeds could finish anywhere from 16th to 12th, in my opinion. I've just put an order in what I think will happen. I think two things could happen for Leeds this season. One of them might be slightly outlandish because I don't think Bielsa will make the season.
You don't?
No. I like Bielsa.
What's the alternative though for that team? It's been so tailor-made to his.
I know exactly.
Style of play.
It'll be interesting actually to see what if they do have a bad spell and whether they do go right. We'll get rid of him because I would keep him. But my opinion is I think. But I think Leeds could go two ways. I think they could start well and drop off, or they're not going to be consistent. They're either going to start well and drop off, or they're going to have a terrible start and have a late push.
Yeah, I know it would be a different story if there was fans in the ground.
Yeah,
Leeds.
I do think as well. Leeds team is very suited to being on the front foot. I mean, I saw them last season at their place when they drew 3-3 with Cardiff, and they were 3-0 up about 50 minutes, and they looked like one of the best teams I've ever seen play in the Championship. They were fast, counter-attacking.
Yeah.
Costa, even Bamford looked like he was good, which was a shock to even people in the ground, other Leeds fans.
When their style of play comes off, it is devastating.
It's beautiful. But as we saw with Norwich last season, you can't just come up and play like that because from defence,
100%.
like I said, they drew 3-3.
Yeah.
Because it was like a hole just went through that defence. And I do think they need a bit of that solidity. I think not getting Ben White back again for the season will be a big loss to them.
Three Ben White.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting on the back of my shirt. No hesitation.
Oh, love it.
White number 3, but no, I do think, like, genuinely, the reason I did not want to sell them to him is because if they buy him, they're not improving their team. They're just keeping it the same as it was.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key, is that they have such a consistent centre-back pairing for the Championship. They may see a struggle of getting used to that way of playing out. Because when you play out like that, you've got to be very on it. You've got to know where your players are. You've got to be... Because obviously last season, when Webster first came in, he wasn't quite used to Dunk, the way he plays. Yeah. Whereas now... After the season went on, he's aware, like, he's going to be here.
I mean, teams can live and die by their centre-back pairing.
Yeah, and I think Robin Koch, who's come in, and I believe they're looking at another centre-back, not come in yet. They've got to hit the ground running if they're going to be consistent 100%. In this league. And do you know, I'm not in a view that I want Leeds to go down. I do think they add to this league, but they've got to be very careful not to be naive.
100%. Yeah. And my 15th, we on 15th? 16th, West Brom. I feel like I've said that.
You said them bottom.
No, I said Fulham.
No, you didn't. No, yeah.
West Brom. Yeah. Slavan Bilic, just keep him up. I think he's too experienced to let him go down. Fair enough.
I'm a big fan of Slavan, man.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do anything remarkable. But
they're getting 6 points off West Ham.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to happen.
They'll do enough. I can't really say much more.
Okay.
I think they're good enough to stay up.
Yeah, fair enough. So the bottom is the hardest bit to pick, I think.
15th, I've gone for Aston Villa.
Okay, we have touched on them already, but
marginal improvement from last year. I think they're due to get a big striker, and I'm just going to base it off a bit more consistency.
Yeah.
Going forward.
If they can nail a team down, I think they could be very effective.
I think the first season has been understanding for Dean Smith to get his best 11 and now work on it, basically.
Yeah, that's fair point.
14th for you, Mr. Jack.
15th. Still 15th.
Oh yeah, you didn't say you're 15th.
Yeah, 15th.
I'm not good with the numbers.
Yeah, no.
So what was that?
I've gone Sheffield United 15th.
Okay. Oh, big drop.
I think big drop, but they could be higher. I just think that I don't think lots of people have said, "Oh, Sheffield United get found out, they'll go down." I don't think it'll be that bad, but I think people will be more prepared to play them, as we saw towards the end of last season, is that they did miss out on Europe because of that lack of consistency, and maybe teams getting a little bit of a one-up on them, just about working out.
Maybe a bit of depth issues as well.
Yeah, depth issues. But they're a great side, and I've got all respect for Chris Wilder, and I don't think they'll go down. And I don't think Sheffield United, the club, will be unhappy with a drop down to 15th, because, to be honest, if you're looking at a model like us, for example, Brighton, you just want to stay in these leagues for the first couple of years, and they're way above that target at the moment. So I think they could struggle, but I'm not saying they're going to be terrible.
Yep. Purely on a financial longevity standpoint, you want to stay up as well.
Yeah, definitely.
For long-term project, 14th. Stay up. 14th, I've gone for West Ham.
Oh, interesting. I've gone higher for West Ham.
One reason alone, David Moyes.
Okay.
Sacking him, then re-signing him. Hasn't really looked much better since he came back in. Doesn't get the most out of players, and I think they'll wait too long to sack him.
Yeah, fair point.
And at this moment of recording, they don't really have a big striker. Yeah, Antonio came into form, but
Haller still flatters to deceive so far.
You don't
Clearly
really
talented player.
You don't really think either of them are getting 20 goals a season, 15 goals a season.
No.
So yeah.
Okay. Fair.
Players not just performing at expected level for West Ham.
For 14th, I've gone for Burnley.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I've touched upon it, really. I think that they can just be either terrible or good. I still think they play a style of football which not many teams are still able to deal with. They
As
just
much
seem
as
to
it
do it
pains us.
with Premier League journeymen, and I think they'll stay up for yet another season. And but it does depend on Dyche. Dyche could walk midway. I
Yeah,
think if
I
things
think
do
we're in
start to go
agreement on
pear
that.
shaped, he could just walk midway because I think he's on the basis this season. I presume he's there on the basis that right, we're going to try to stay up again. But if it starts to go wrong, he could just walk, and then I think he'll get an offer from higher up the league.
I think
I don't know whether his heart's in it.
I think he's been very public in demanding a bit more financial backing as well. So,
which I think is fair.
yeah,
Like they've been in the
100%.
Premier League now 4 or 5 years,
Yeah,
and they're still making signings like Phil Bardsley on a free.
Yeah,
You know, he's done well, Phil Bardsley, but you would expect a bit more. You know, you want a sort of marquee signing.
players like Phil Bardsley on the free. That's a narrow-minded.
That's a backup option.
Yeah,
really,
it's a one-season signing. You're not signing Phil Bardsley for the future, are you?
I think they signed Defoe a few years ago from Anderlecht, Stephen Defoe, and he obviously did very well for them, and he was a bit of a marquee signing. I mean, he obviously wasn't consistent, but I think Dyche would like some more options like that, and I can see all reason why he'd want that. So yeah, I think it could be interesting with Burnley this season.
13th.
13th, I've gone for the boys themselves, Brighton Hove Albion. Didn't want to, like I said, these are very interchangeable, so I think they could finish as far down as 16th. But I think it'll be a season where we sort of solidify our play a bit more. The way that Potter's trying to get us to play, I think we're used to it now. Looks like we're going to go with 3 at the back from what I saw at the friendly on Saturday. I think with some of the midfield players we have, I think we just need a little bit depth up front if we are going to play 2 up top, because I think one problem that we had definitely last season was getting men into the box to score. I think the build-up play was great, but when we were getting towards the box, we just had most of the time just Morpay up there on his own, or Trossard waiting to make a run in. What we need is people pushing up from midfield. That's why I think maybe having a 3-man midfield, which it looks like he's also going to go with, might give that extra little sort of one in behind. But I think we do need a striker, because I think definitely, like, you know, Trossard and Morpay are great up front, but we need to make sure that, you know, someone's just sort of tucking in behind and can make those runs into the box, because I think in the last few years Stevens and Proper haven't really done that as much for me. They haven't. Proper and Stevens, I like them both, but they haven't had enough goal contributions for me.
Well, what if any?
Yeah, and I think
they scored last year.
Yeah, Proper against Wolves. I can just tell you that one straight off the top of the head. That's the one goal.
It's just not good enough, though.
No, it's not. And yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. I would like the sort of acquisition of maybe a box-to-box midfielder, but I think we do have one built in the squad already here. Yeah, Basuma. I think a midfield 3 of possibly Basuma, one of Proper, Stevens, or Malumbi, and then somebody like Ali McAllister or Pascal Gross or Adam Lallana, of course.
You bloody hope so.
Yeah, you bloody hope so, yeah. Considering we've just signed him. You would hope that sort of player pushes on to sort of be that link between midfield, maybe making runs into the box with a sort of splitting through balls. And like, you know, Pascal Gross, when he was
just
at his best,
dictate the tempo.
You know, Pascal Gross is a quick man, but when he was at his best was when he was in behind a striker or 2 strikers, and he can sort of dictate those balls, cutting through balls. And I think the wing backs, if we play a 5, will play a massive role in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, for me, that's what I'd like to see.
Leeds for me are going to be 13th. First season, they're going to be up for it. I think 13th is a good finish for them.
Yeah, I presume it's once again they could finish anywhere from 16th upwards.
I won't go too much into teams we've already discussed, but first season in the Prem, they're going to get some results. I think, there's definitely 6 teams worse than them. So
I definitely
13th.
You know, they're I think they could do well. They could be as high up as that.
12th for me.
Yeah,
is
I've gone for a rogue one.
Sheffield United.
Okay, interesting.
Organised, good team, work well together. Chris Wilder, got a lot of time for him.
I like him. I do like him as a manager.
12th. Yeah, I won't go too much into it.
Yeah. I've gone for a rogue one here. I've gone Everton.
Oh, Rogue
I
FC.
I just think they're just a mess at the moment. They just have no sort of consistent direction. They just throw money at stuff. And what they need to do, they need to just have a clear strategy. They're looking at signing James Rodriguez this week.
James
Rodriguez. For me personally, why? Is it because he's available, or is it because you want to do something with him? Because for me, they've got plenty of players in that position. You've got Andre Gomez, who can play in that midfield, sort of slightly further up the pitch. You've got Gylfi Sigurdsson, who I still think is massively underrated. And I just think they've signed him, if they do sign him, for the sake of it. And I think Ancelotti maybe isn't always necessarily the best for a team looking. He's one for the superstar teams, like a Juventus or a Real Madrid. Whereas I think for Everton, he might struggle there. So, yeah, I'm not too hopeful that Everton are going to do anything special this season. I'd like them to, but it's not for me. It's not for me. And they could finish as low as 16th. I honestly think they could be that bad. So,
Okay. I don't agree, and I'll tell you further up the table. Are we on 11?
When you put them as second.
Yeah. No, definitely not
12th.
second. Alright, yeah. And 11th for you?
I thought oh yes, sorry, 11th. I've gone for on 11th. I've gone for West Ham United.
Okay. Much improved on my 14th.
First of all, I won't go too much into this, but I just think signing of the summer, Thomas Souček, huge fan of him.
Great player.
I think they have got great players in that squad, and maybe this could be a Bruce-like effect on them, like it is on Newcastle, because Newcastle obviously did very well this season. And I think just doing a bit of shithousery, a bit of crap football this season, under a bit of consistent umbrella of David Moyes, might actually do them benefits. He clearly got the best out of Antonio, and they were one of the better teams out, other than us maybe. But they did, they started below us and they finished below us, so they didn't overtake it. But I think after lockdown, they were probably one of the better teams outside the top four.
Yeah.
He was getting the best out of players then, and I'm not a huge Moyes fan, but I think it's clear to see he did get the best out of some players. Okay. Mikel Antonio being the clear and obvious one.
Yeah. 4 goals against Norwich.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I think they could do well this season.
Yeah, and you have to say in recent years, 11th would be very good for West Ham.
Yeah, it would. I think they'd be fantastic if they finished that.
11 for me is Brighton.
Okay, very ambitious.
I think we're going to have a great season. Yeah, fair enough. It could be rose-tinted glasses, but I think Potter's had a lot of time, a full season to decide what sort of players he needs, because
it's clear he's made some outgoings players which don't fit his style as well.
He builds a team in a certain way where you need certain players. That might sound a bit riddleish, but he plays quick football, hard working, movement, good on the ball, and
because I was looking at stat and we ran the most out of any team.
You could, it might be a bit harsh, but the team he inherited didn't necessarily have 15 players, 16 players that could suit his playstyle, and I think we'll sign a few more players. The fundamentals are there. We need a big man. Big man signed. That's 11 for me.
I know you've spoken a lot about a winger. I don't think we need that winger personally.
No. Well, if we're playing 5-3-2, we don't need a winger, and I've got a lot of time for the 5-3-2 formation.
I think we've got wingers in the squad who could possibly change it up if we maybe want to switch to a 5-2-3, and I think we've got enough depth in the squad to do that.
I mean, it's not.
I think we do really need that left wing back though. I think that's the whole. Dan Burn's great, love him, but
Solly March had a great game there against Chelsea.
He did. He did, who
Sure,
obviously has been
Lamptey could
overlooked.
play there.
Lamptey, Veltman played at right wing back. Looks a bit rusty, but he wasn't bad.
Well,
Shall we say? Yeah.
thing about the Dutch league is they finish football in about March or April. So
Yeah. So he hasn't had football for a long
no,
time.
yeah.
So
So we'll
yeah.
give him cut him a bit of slack. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
11th
Okay,
for
that's
me,
interesting.
Brighton.
Not too far off in our predictions.
No.
Right.
If it's anything like last year, the bottom half of the table was divided by about 5 points, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
number 10 for me, Southampton.
Okay.
Yeah. Hassan Hutul. How's that?
Yeah, that was good.
He's completely transformed that team since losing 9-0. Yeah, they haven't been the best team in the world, but Ings has been bang on it. Che Adams started scoring goals. Yeah, good at the back. Good foundations. They work hard, and yeah, 10th for me.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling you might have said the same.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually. I've gone for Newcastle United.
Oh, 10th.
Once again,
I said them to go down.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I said, it was going to be very wrong.
Wow.
I won't go into it too much, but I think Bruce has done a fantastic job. I think he's done better than Benitez. I think Benitez was slightly overrated by the Newcastle fans. Obviously, ownership issues aside, he's obviously not who they would ideally want. But let's not slag off the job he's done. He's got them playing very well, got them to the top of the league. Obviously, Joel Linton's a bit of a dud, but I think most of the players he's brought in have done quite well. So
hard to beat.
For me, hard to beat. So for me, I think they could push on even further this year. But I think that will be. I think when I talk about Moyes and Bruce bringing West Ham to 11th and Newcastle to 10th, that is their ceiling. That is the top point for them.
Yeah.
If they want to push on further, they've got to change it up.
Yeah.
They've got to change it up. I don't think there will be a chance for them to not change it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
9th for me. For you.
For me, it is Southampton.
Okay. Yeah. So we're not too far off.
Yeah, good side. Really liked them at the end of last season. Thought Hassan Huttle did well. Great players in the squad. Players like Højbjerg, who's gone now. Obviously, they've lost a few.
Well, so yeah, need to make a midfield signing for me.
But yeah, they do. But I do like their side. I think Adams could kick on this season.
He really found didn't do very towards the end.
He did. Ings is obviously very consistent. They've got good young players. It seems whenever at Southampton, and Hassan Huttle is obviously good at this. He's obviously got. And I think a lot of credit doesn't go to Hassan Huttle last season because he did lose 9-0. I will accept that. So he's probably not going to win any PFA Manager of the Year awards for that. But the job he did, because he could have just gone that night.
Yeah,
that night, they could have just gone. But he dragged them up to, very high in the table. So for me, very impressive. It seems that whenever somebody's sold at Southampton, a young player will come in and fill their role. Yeah, because I think it was Vokins when we played them and played towards the end of last season. Looked a very good player.
Yeah. Small bone.
So, yeah. So I think they'll do well this season. But I don't think that'll be a huge shock to many if they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9th for you?
Leicester for me.
Okay. This is where we start to get quite similar.
Yeah. I'm guessing you've put them 8th. But
I have put them 8th, yeah.
Leicester, I mean, they've got a very good spine to their team. They've got Sionchu, who's an absolute rock. Schmeichel, well proven Premier League goalkeeper. They've got Brendan Rodgers, a proven manager, and yeah, they're just a good team, and I think they'll continue that. Also very young, so they can only get better.
Yes.
Although that is a drop off from last year.
Yeah. So I'll just go straight into it because I'd put them 8th, so that would be the following place.
Yep.
So for me, 8th, similar thing. I just don't think they're quite good enough. I think they got lucky early doors last season. Few good. I think I think Vardy could drop off slightly because he seems to be getting better with age, to be honest. So,
touch wood, he doesn't get an injury, but if he does get injured,
I feel like he's an injury away from that being it for him.
He's,
obviously, I don't wish that upon him,
well,
but
the point I was going to make is they're heavily reliant on Vardy for goals, and if he were to get injured, as he did pick up a bit of a knock earlier.
Yeah, he did.
Not a lot.
Still won Golden Boot.
Yeah, not a lot of other people were chipping in with goals.
Yeah, Iheanacho sort of only really came in and a little bit of promise that he might be worth the money they paid for him towards the end of last season. But I think they do need a bit of consistency up top. Depth up top.
Yeah.
I think that wide. I think the rest of the team, obviously, centre backs, they seem to, and whoever. Be interesting to see who they bring in to replace Ben Chilwell, because obviously last season they didn't do that with.
That's the point. Got 50 million spent.
Yeah, but they didn't do that last season. Well, actually, I was just reading on BBC Sport this second that Castagna, Timothy, from Atalanta apparently is. No, they have signed him. So
they've signed him. Okay, how much was he?
It doesn't say how much. Undisclosed.
Probably about 15 million, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't. So it'd be interesting to see, because it seemed, they obviously sold Maguire and they didn't replace him. So.
Well, they bought Sayonchu, so.
Yeah. Well, no, they didn't buy Sayonchu. They had him before. So. Yeah. So yeah, for me, I think a little bit of consistency away from getting into Europe again.
Yeah.
Interesting to see if Rodgers lasts the season. Actually,
a lot of people doubting him. Are you one of them?
I think that no, I don't. I think it'd be better for them to have consistency, because I'm very against sacking managers. But I reckon maybe they could be a bit trigger happy, the Leicester owners. So yeah, I don't know whether he'll make the season. So for your 8th, Andy,
Wolves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nuno Espirito is a fantastic manager. If you ever get a chance to watch your team against Wolves, Wolves are just so patient. Every player knows exactly where they need to be. They've got set routines to perform all game, and they're just fantastic to watch. They got good depth, good players. Traore is an absolute bust, and he can basically terrorise a team all on his own. Jimenez, 20 goals a season. Striker Yotta's chipping in with goals. So yeah, I think they're very good for 8th.
Yeah. So for 7th, Andy?
Leicester was your 8th. 7th for me is Everton. Now, you said that
I think
no chance.
A bit of a fraud squad.
The reason why I've put 7th is they're linked with James Rodriguez.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're also linked with Alan, and they were heavily under depth last year. Ancelotti came in halfway through the season, and he got them results straight away. Be interested to see where the table would have ended up, or what it was since he came in, because he got back-to-back wins. Their team is so good that they really should be kicking for 7th. They got Richarlison, they got Iwobi. I'm joking. Well, if they signed Walcott,
young and upcoming youngster.
Yeah,
Walcott.
They need to sign some defenders. Fair enough, because their back four is a mess.
I think obviously it's a good signing, James Rodriguez, but what's it going to improve in their team? So that's the only thing I think about it.
Ancelotti worked with him at
yeah. There's probably a reason.
He doesn't want to play 4-4-2 anymore. Is my prediction. 4-5-1 probably suits them.
Yeah.
Better maybe. But yeah, Gylfi Sigurdsson and James Rodriguez, both playing cam is a delightful thought. So yeah, I think
fair enough.
Ancelotti will make him hard to beat.
Fair enough. So
and your 7th?
I've gone Arsenal.
No Wolves.
Yeah, I know. Arsenal just don't think they're consistent enough still. Signings they made. They've made this bloke Gabriel.
Gabriel Magalhaes from Lille.
Not that Gabriel. The man, the myth, the legend.
Gabriel Paulista.
Yeah. That day he was murdered by Andy Carroll at Upton Park. Watching that, all 3 goals Gabriel mistakes scored by Carroll.
You can't blame him though. AC9 is an absolute
AC9 is the king. When he's on form. When he is on form.
Daily mention of AC9.
AC9. But no, I just don't think they're consistent enough. I'm sure you'll touch deeper on them when we get up to where you put them in the table.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they put, they'll obviously get Aubameyang down to a new deal by the sound of it by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Which will be good for them because obviously I still think Aubameyang's one of the best strikers in the league, and it's the only thing I really fear in the Arsenal 11. Personally, but yeah, for me, I just still don't think they're consistent enough. Seen by the end, but they're so inconsistent, like it's painful.
It's going to be down to the inconsistency.
I was talking to another Arsenal fan friend of mine, Naresh, about we watched them beat Liverpool 2-1, looked fantastic. Liverpool weren't necessarily at the races, but they look good. And then they go and lose 1-0 to Aston Villa. It is so inconsistent.
Yeah.
So for me, that'll be an interesting one.
Yeah. 6th, I have gone Tottenham.
Did you say? You said Everton. Yes, I forgot that. Yeah.
Oh wait, it was your turn.
Oh,
6th is Tottenham for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Jose Mourinho gets the squad from the beginning of the season. I've actually been watching the Tottenham documentary, which is a great watch. If anyone's got Amazon Prime, I'd highly recommend it.
Need to watch that. It's on the list.
Might have influenced my position, but yeah, I just think it's classic Mourinho. Makes teams hard to beat, and their squad is ridiculously good. They should be pushing a lot hard. I think they finished 6th last year anyway, so yeah. I think the top 6 is so competitive this year as well. There's 6 teams with phenomenal managers and phenomenal teams. Anything could happen, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, well, I've actually gone for Wolves in 6.
Ooh.
So I've gone Wolves. I think, like I said, they deserved European football last season. I think I've touched on that in the season review. I think they were good enough. So I think, for me personally, I think they can crack on and get it this season. Big fan of Espirito Santos. His team, there's great players in there, consistent. Dharma Traore getting oiled up on the touchline.
It's my favourite thing ever.
Why can't he do it? That's all I think. Why does the coaching staff have to do it? Can't he do it? Bit weird.
It's homoerotic.
It turns me on. That's for sure.
Greased up deaf guy.
Yeah.
Never gonna catch me.
Except he's not deaf. He's a professional footballer.
Yeah.
But no, I think they're just gonna crack on.
I will say speedy recovery to Traore as well. Just been diagnosed with coronavirus.
Oh, has he? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Missed the first few games. But...
Ruled out of the Spain squad after getting selected, so commiserations.
Oh, really? The Spain squad?
Yeah.
Must be the first call up, surely.
Yeah. So gutted for him, really.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think, for me personally, I think that's, I think they'll crack on and prove a bit of a point this season.
Yeah. Like I say, nothing but admiration for Wolves, so wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's a very competitive top 6, though, I think.
Your
6th? Oh no,
5th for you.
My 5th. Now this one is going to shock many.
You can't believe what happened next.
I've been tweeting Bet365 to allow me to put a bet on this. But Liverpool are going to finish outside the top 4.
Oh my god.
You've heard it here first.
Shit. I bet 365 not offering that.
They might be now, but they weren't a
Other
few weeks.
betting platforms are available.
Are available, yeah, and they will be bloody soon if they don't accept this bet. But yeah, I think this is a rogue one, and I'm willing to eat my own words here when they win the league again. But I just don't think squad depth isn't big enough for them.
Mm.
And I think they've tried so hard to get. And I do think for Liverpool fans, like this is what they wanted is to win the league.
Yeah.
All they ever wanted, and they've got that. And all power to them for
Premier
that.
League,
But
yeah.
I think it will go off the ball because Liverpool did so well this year because they were hungry. They wanted it.
Yeah.
You could see from the day season went, they wanted this. They were not letting anybody else get anywhere near it. There was going to be no slipping up. They were so on it, and I think this season they won't be as hungry for it.
Yeah, the old proverb is that the wolf at the bottom of the mountain isn't as hungry as the wolf on the top.
Yes, exactly. No, it's the opposite way around.
Yeah, the wolf at the bottom of the mountain is a lot hungrier than the wolf at the top. Yeah, thank you, Jack.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll let you off.
But yeah,
it's for me personally. I just think they might burn out a bit, and you saw them do the Champions League this season. They
did, to be fair.
They won the Champions League and they went out to Atletico Madrid in a bit of a damp squib, really, which was patient zero of coronavirus or something. Started a massive swarm in Liverpool, but yeah, no. For me, I think they'll finish outside the top four.
That's a huge prediction.
I think Klopp will stay though. If they do, I don't think it'll be a sackable offence.
Oh no, he's got that job forevermore.
Yeah, I think so.
Until fifth for me, Man United.
Okay, interesting.
Plain and simple. It's just so competitive at the top, and I had to put them somewhere. Injury issues, inconsistencies, defensive issues, first and foremost.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Defensive issues because one of their players could be in prison.
Yeah, the biggest defensive issue they've got is finding Harry Maguire a good lawyer.
Yeah.
Criminal defence. Thank you.
Thank you. Harry Maguire isn't the root cause of their defensive problems. I'm not there here to scapegoat Harry Maguire. I think we need a consistent partner for him.
Very interesting one for Man United though, because I would love to see De Gea get dropped for Henderson. Not sure if it'll happen, but yeah.
We will see, won't we?
Fifth for me. Champions League football might get a bit too much for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fifth.
Yeah.
And fourth for me is for Arsenal. They're back. They're going to be back to their glory days. Fourth spot. Obviously, I follow what Arteta's like and doing. I just think he's really brought out the desire in the team, and that's what's been lacking. Yeah.
If they can stay consistent, I agree with you, 100%. But I just don't think they can stay consistent.
They've signed a new centre back. They've got Willy Saliba, who's supposed to be the next big thing, and the new Arsenal defence under Arteta just are so much more hungry to keep clean sheets. Martinez has proven to be a little hidden gem. Hopefully he's got number one spot. I think he deserves it.
Over Leno.
100%. Based on the form. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't disagree with that.
I think there's not a huge difference between the two, but on the ball, Martinez has proven to be very good. He can really pick out a pass.
Yeah, and he made some cracking saves last season.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything to get dropped, essentially. So yeah,
fair.
I think
So
new signings, keeping Aubameyang fourth, and for you, Arsenal
four.
For
me, four. I have gone 4. So it's probably one was angry, but I've gone Tottenham. I've gone Tottenham just because I'm a big Mourinho fan. I do just think
I will
Mourinho.
say you will love the documentary. So
I'm a huge Mourinho fan. I think he's absolute perfect level of a foreign
shithousery.
manager who's come into this country and he's taken it by storm. But I do think I do think he is a good manager. He is a good coach. He gets the best out of players.
Yeah, excellent man management.
Yeah, excellent man management. I think he's picked a team which needs man management. Spurs are a team which for many years they need players like Ali who can get back to their best.
Yeah.
With man management. Kane, I think, will come into his own. Perfect Mourinho player.
Hopefully, if he stays injury free, which has been his problem
for the last couple of seasons. But I think he had a on-off one last season, so I think this season they want to hit it running. Hit
it.
And yeah, I think I would like. Yeah, I think
it's ready made for them to get fourth. To be perfectly honest.
And I think at Man United, he was obviously he's had time to get used to his squad. At Man United, he did well. He finished second, didn't he? Of course.
Greatest achievement.
And considering all the buzz he had around his team, like Man United, there's so many more problems than what's going on the pitch there.
Yeah.
And that's not. I'm not talking about their ownership because, to be honest, they're in a good place ownership-wise compared to many other clubs in this country. But I think it's just the whole issue with Pogba. We still don't really know if Pogba's been.
There's a lot of egos in the dressing room.
Yeah. And I like Pogba. I think he's a great player, but I there's still something about that whole situation which is still there for all to see.
Yeah.
And then I think, I just think with a bit of consistency, Mourinho can really implement his style. A club which I'm going to be snobby about it because I think the problem with Man United is they were like, oh, this isn't what we're used to seeing.
3 trophies, second spot, not good enough.
Fuck off. Like, you've just got to get used to that.
You're not going to dominate teams and win the league easily.
When he was doing that for Chelsea in the first place, and he won them their first ever Premier League title, nobody was complaining.
No.
And I think Tottenham will be a club that's hungry for success no matter where it comes from, and that's what Mourinho is perfect as. Whereas I think where he's failed recently or been poor recently, Man United and Man United and Real Madrid are clubs which success is nothing for them. It's how you do it. Yeah. And if you're not doing it the right way, then they will have a serious problem about it. I think Tottenham won't care as long as they do
it does get mentioned in the documentary, but they haven't won a trophy since 2008. And the fans are crying up. Yeah, they're crying up.
I say only a League Cup. If Brighton won a League Cup, I think
we'll take it. But I reckon my prediction they'll get silverware this year because
interesting. He will get them success.
Probably another League Cup, to be honest.
Yeah, well, League Cup's a League Cup.
But they'll take it. 12 years without a trophy. The squad they've got. Yeah, they should be.
He is just box office, that man. I love him.
Quote every interview.
Yeah.
Third place.
Right, third place for me. I've gone for Manchester United.
Okay.
Huge fan of what they did towards the end of last season. I actually think Ollie is perfect appointment, and I think even if they don't finish in the top 4 again this season, keep him because what Man United have needed for the last few years is consistency. Obviously, they've got a few bit of defensive errors. But I do believe in Harry Maguire. I think he is still the best English centre back in the Premier League, or in the world actually, but our best English centre back. And I think he just needs a bit of solidity at centre back with him. But Lindelof can be good on his day. I just think they're once again doing this thing, and it's the same issue of Everton, is strengthening in the wrong places. They're trying to bring in Sancho.
Yeah, I think.
Why would they need Sancho? Because their front three was doing fantastic last season.
Also, as good as Donny van der Beek is, not doubting that, don't really need it. They've got
they've got Fernandes in that
they've
position.
got McTominay, they've got Fred, they've got Pogba. If we're talking purely CDMs, Fernandes more of a cam, but
Van der Beek can even play in the hole though. He can play everywhere, and I do like him.
Quality player, but
yeah,
not what they
it's
need.
not what they need in that side at all for me. So it's an interesting one, but I think they are consistent enough, and if they keep that late season form they had,
definitely.
They were fantastic. Best team I saw throughout the lockdown, other than Man City. For me, I just thought Fernandes and Greenwood, and they worked very well.
Greenwood kicks on.
You know what? And they're not doing the embarrassment, because over the last few years they've been embarrassing themselves against the smaller teams. And I have to say, throughout the lockdown period, they put them to the sword. Us especially.
Yeah,
and they weren't messing around. They were winning. You know, they beat Bournemouth 5-2, us 3-0, Villa 3-0, and you know, Brighton and the Amex. That's a massive banana skin for Man United. Before that, they never won there. So for me, yeah. Definitely.
3 for me. Third is Man City.
Ooh, interesting.
I just think they're lacking a bit up top. Well, now you see, I'm making this prediction based on them not getting Messi.
Okay, I think that'll be the case anyway.
If they get Messi, then I'll happily change that to second.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah. I just think, yeah.
Okay.
Drop off a bit.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of theory behind that one.
You can't. Well, okay. If we want to get into
I'm calling you out, Andy. Where's your bloody theory?
They've signed Nathan Ake, a relegated centre back.
Don't like him as a centre back. Don't think he's worth 40 million. Very powerful saying that.
Fernandinho and Rodri, they're not great as CDMs. I think there's not enough mobility.
Haven't seen enough from Rodri for me. Good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say third, dropping off.
Third. Second.
Second, Liverpool.
Okay.
Based on what you said, you have sort of swayed my decision a bit.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to win the league again.
You could, I think you could easily interchange City and Liverpool. I think just Liverpool have got a phenomenal team. Jurgen Klopp gets them going. Virgil van Dijk is, unbelievable. He's just so good, and any team he's in are going to be solid at the back. So,
Indeed.
And then the boys up front just get goals. So, yeah. Second.
Yeah.
You?
Fair enough. For me, in second, I've gone Chelsea. So, team I put in.
We both think Chelsea can do well this year.
Yeah, I think they are. I think the signings they've made, good attacking players. Lampard's got a bit of money to spend. They did, they finished fourth with him with. Well, I wouldn't say he had no money to spend with, but he's obviously built up that foundation of youth.
Well, he couldn't spend money. Is the point?
Yeah, he couldn't, but he's built up that foundation of youth in his team who play lovely football, play great football. But he's built that foundation which he can build upon and just sort of chuck. It's like he's making cooking a soup.
Just the garnish now.
Yeah. Now he's chucking a bit of meat. Like just giving it a bit of taste. Or it's like right. So this is actually a very good example, and I take it from my uni cooking. At uni, I used to get a packet of down the international aisle in Sainsbury's.
Right.
They're like 50p noodles.
I'm trusting this is going somewhere.
Flavour. Yeah, it is. I'll just get the packet of noodles. Right. Do that. Little bowl. Nice little bowls. Just looks like a standard packet of noodles. That's what he's done with his squad at the moment. He's got a standard packet of noodles.
That's your Giroud's.
He's got his Abraham. He's got his Mounts. He's got his, midfield.
The Kante.
Yeah.
Your noodles of the team.
They're good. They keep it going. And then in the centre back, they've got a few people all around. They've got Christensen. They've got Rudiger. I think he's still decent, even though he's had some dodgy moments. Zuma as well. I think you mix them all up together. You've got a good foundation. Now what he's doing, he's got a bit of parsley out the cupboard. He sprinkled that on top, called Timo Werner. Just sort of finessed it a bit. It looks nice. It's sort of, Sorry, no. The parsley is because the parsley you can't really taste the parsley, so it's more of a Ziyech.
Yeah.
He's very fancy. It's nice to watch. He does nice little plays like that, and then he's got, and he's just sort of
Your
he's
Thiago
done that.
Silva.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your
So then
chicken nugget of the team.
Exactly. And then he's chucked in a bit of salt and pepper just to give it, a little bit of that on top, which is Havertz if it goes through. I think for me, Havertz
I'd say
just
that's the caviar.
Oh no! Havertz is the salt and pepper because sorry, not Havertz. Ruined it now. Salt and pepper is Werner because it does so much work and just gets it done with. And does
the simple stuff well.
Finishes everything up. Does the simple stuff well. Exactly. It's simple. It's easy. And then finally, you got Havertz, which is the Tabasco that I chuck in. You just chuck in the Tabasco. You spice it up. You make it really.
Some will question how you got that Tabasco.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. Got it in the international aisle as well. That's what you need to find. You just find all the
such high prospect of the Tabasco. Will it live
bun
up?
Your hind beans. Bun your, rest of the products English made. But you go down that English, you go down that international aisle. And you just take out the best stuff. You just take it out, and you chuck up Tabasco, and it just finishes the deal, and it just blows your mouth up.
And for the same reason,
scores goals.
I've done Chelsea to win the league. I think
there you go.
The signings they have made.
For me, I think the big issues which hang over me.
Big issue
is to not finish top, like you're saying, is goalkeeper situation.
Yeah.
Willie Caballero's currently there. They're talking about Ben Foster.
47-year-old.
Saw that. Two 37-year-old goalkeepers, great players, great keepers to be fair, but. Age is simply a number if you're a keeper, but Kepa is...
Well, I'm going to make a point about the age.
Yeah.
Edwin van der Sar signed for Man United when he was 35.
Well, exactly.
And went on to play to his 41.
Yeah, no, I think that's completely fair as well. But I do think there's question marks over the centre-backs as well. Which I'm very surprised they haven't gone out and bought one, actually.
Thiago Silva.
Oh, Thiago Silva, I guess. That's a bit of a
one. I'm predicting him to be the Virgil van Dijk to Chelsea's team. Yeah. I think he's so experienced, can't question his quality. No. I think he's just going to organise the young team back four. Yeah. If he's got Reece James to his right, which for me he's got to start, and either Christensen, Zuma, and any of them could do with an experienced leader next to him.
Yeah, because I think they're all good players in their own right, but they just need someone next to them.
It's like
who isn't as erratic.
Yeah.
Because Rudiger and Zuma are just as erratic.
It's like
they're both
Joe Gomez. Without Virgil van Dijk, he's not the same player, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I agree.
Who are you saying to win the league?
I'm saying City, just because I can't look past them. If they get Messi, I don't think that has any effect on whether they'll win the league or not for me. I just think, towards the end of last season they were butchering teams. I think this is the season where some of their younger players as well come through and start to show their worth, especially with Silva leaving. Big thing. I'm expecting a huge season for Phil Foden this season.
Well, it's set up for him to go shine.
Aguero obviously is still probably one of the best finishers in the league. Injuries have been issues in the last few years.
He's got no knee. He's got no hamstring.
But then still you've got De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, who's fantastic, probably on a level with David Silva in quality.
Yeah.
De Bruyne, who's probably the best player in the league. Centre back, you've got Laporte. I think where they lost last season was when Laporte got injured. The fact that Laporte wasn't there ruined a lot of games for them and meant they struggled and they lost games they shouldn't lose.
They had centre back injuries across the board.
Yeah,
but
Fernandinho was playing there. But this season with them fit, it's for me. I think they'll just blitz the league.
Okay.
I think it'll be by some margin, a similar margin to this season.
Interesting.
Yeah, especially if they get Messi. If they get Messi, then
I'm looking forward to this one. It's a big one, and without fans in the ground,
I think a lot of players are starting to come here now. Maybe they're starting to realise that maybe the money's going to go from football. I think this
Yeah,
COVID thing.
I'm noticing a shift from La Liga. I was thinking earlier,
The two La Liga teams are losing their
I'm
edge.
starting to think there's some sort of inside news in La Liga, like all the money's going or something.
I think
Because
like Real Madrid just seem to be a mess.
look at Barcelona, they're sending
So,
Suarez, Rakitic, Messi wants
yeah,
to go,
and
Vidal's looking like he's gonna go.
these were the best teams in the world a couple of years ago. They were the best.
Yeah, and they're the teams that were nicking the Premier League players.
Yeah, and now I don't think they are. I don't think
Yeah.
they've got the same pulling power as they had before.
I think the Bale situation is sort of highlighting how undesirable.
I saw an interview with him this week.
Yeah, me too.
I did. I've got a lot of respect for Gareth Bale.
Me too. He's got to go though.
So
just go.
He's got to go.
I think he wants to go though.
I think the one thing I'd say to him, because I saw in his interview, he said, "I want to go, but Real Madrid won't let me."
Yeah.
Take the wage cut then.
Well,
if you really want to go, I know it's hard to say to someone, especially in these times, but he's still going to be a multi
well, from what I gathered, it seems like he don't really care about the money.
No,
but
he
I
doesn't.
Could be wrong.
But if he won't take a pay cut, Real Madrid should just let him go.
Yeah.
Just let him go on loan somewhere where they pay, like we've done with Shane Duffy. We're only paying 20 grand of the wages. He's not a disruptive influence, though. Don't get me wrong, Shane Duffy. But we've let him have his move because he wants it. He's not going to play here. But the thing is, I think Real Madrid, like we did, we felt like we owed Duffy something.
Yeah.
Because he did so much for us. Where I think Real Madrid obviously aren't in the position where they feel like they owe the player something.
Yeah, he's just massively.
Really, they do. He's won them 2 Champions Leagues, hand down.
Yeah, yeah, against Liverpool, he won that for them.
Yeah, so under Atletico Madrid won a few years back, he didn't do too bad. So, yeah,
and
so yeah, for me, yeah,
that's the Premier League roundup, and we will cut to a quick break, and we'll see you after this message brought to you by our sponsors.
What shirt are you wearing, Jack? What shirt are you wearing?
And so this week we have a Livorno shirt. Whoa. Whoa. A club literally filled to the brim with communist ultras. Filled to the brim. They're on my long list of left-wing football club shirt that I want to buy. Got a name on the back if anybody can identify him. I don't know who he is. But
bit lower.
Got a name. His name is Givinia.
We didn't see that, but we'll take your word for it.
We'll take my word for it. I can't do that much bending. I'm not a genius.
For those listening who might not know who Livorno are,
Livorno actually finished rock bottom Serie B this season, so maybe not the best advert for communism. But they finished bottom of Serie B and getting relegated to Serie C, and they finished rock bottom.
Oh God!
Like I think they only got under 20 points all season.
Well, if they all pull together,
great. Yeah, if they all it shows if we all pull together, we still finish last. Rock bottom. So,
sick. Cool.
So there you go, Livorno.
Shout out. Thanks for that, sponsors. Yeah. And we're back. Welcome back to the Tiki Chatter podcast. You've had your table prediction. We're also going to go into some little nooks and crannies of the season because we all know
we won't get the whole hour 9 minutes of these.
Yeah, the story isn't just black and white. It's got little intricacies. And we're going to go first with who we reckon is going to be the first sacking, manager-wise.
Yeah. Do you want to go first, Andy?
I will start with David Moyes.
Oh, okay, interesting. Obviously fits with your predictions.
Yeah, I covered it in the table review. I just think Moyes is way past his best. And there's better managers out there. West Ham trigger happy. They expect so much.
So you're thinking West Ham's position will probably, I think, when you're talking about your position, he could come from a spell of very poor form
and then
at the beginning of the
sack
season.
him and then drive on. Yeah.
Drive on.
Is Moyes a better manager than Eddie Howe? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think they do. I think Eddie Howe is lined up for whoever gets sacked first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, David Moyes for me. He's getting sacked first. What about you?
Well, my prediction for first manager to get sacked is Dean Smith.
Okay. Yeah.
From
Aston Villa. Hate it.
I do think he's the poorest manager in the league. Got a lot of respect for him, but he didn't exactly blitz the Championship. He got through the playoffs when everybody thought Derby would do it, and I think Derby were probably ultimately the better team that year.
Bottle jobs, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but they are massive bottle jobs, worse than Brentford.
I agree.
But they're in the.
I will say, to back your point up, John Terry, number 2. He could easily become number 1.
Yeah. I think it'll be another situation like with where they'll spend either a lot of money and they just won't get any consistency at the beginning, because I still don't think they've got a best 11. I couldn't pick out a best 11 for me because they've got so many players. I couldn't even put like their bench together because they've got so many.
Many.
Samatta they bought in January for 8 million. Where does he fit in it?
Yeah,
you don't know. I guess they've got to play him up front because they've got no one else. But they were even chopping and changing the goalkeeper towards the end of last season.
Yeah,
with Neeman coming in, Reina playing a couple, and he's obviously gone now. He's gone to Lazio, I think.
For Milan.
No, Milan. Yes, he's gone somewhere.
Yeah.
He's gone somewhere.
Somewhere Italian.
Spain. It could be Spain, though. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But for me, I just think that they'll lack consistency and have a really poor start because they dragged themselves over the finishing line. They got that one.
They did drag it, to be fair.
That 1-1 point away at Everton. They beat Palace
0-0 against Sheffield United.
Yeah, which kept them up. But their victory over Palace was only due to them Palace getting a goal ruled out within the first from VAR. And if that hadn't happened, they wouldn't have won. I don't think they would have been able to pull themselves back from that. And we'd see Bournemouth still in the Prem. And then they beat Arsenal 1-0, but it wasn't exactly a classic, was it?
Yeah, I mean.
And then, of course, their final day at West Ham, they scored and thought we sorted it. And a minute later, Yarmolenko went up the other end and scored. So I think it was Yarmolenko. I just don't think they're good enough. I think what they'll do is they'll sack Dean Smith. And for me, Duffy's just scored for Ireland.
Gets in.
Up the fucking boy. But for me...
Celtic fans will be happy.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, I think they'll sack Dean Smith and bring in Eddie Howe, and I think they'll still go down.
Yeah, I think
I think that's
agree
what happened
on the first appointment. Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I think they'll bring in Eddie Howe, and I think they'll go that Eddie Howe.
Give it to Howie to the end of the season.
I have to say, I'm actually very surprised Eddie Howe left Bournemouth. I thought he would stay after he went down.
Mentally, I think he needed a change.
Maybe. But he's obviously linked to that club, so I think if he does come in, whoever he comes in at, I think they'll struggle again.
Okay.
They'll struggle again. Right. Interesting.
Top 3 goal scorers in no particular order or order?
Yeah, I've done it in order.
All right then. Who's getting?
So, start number 3. I've gone for. I'll just do all 3.
Yeah.
Sergio Aguero, number 3. Just don't think anybody's doubting his ability. Injuries is the only problem, but if he can stay injury free, I think he'd be there and thereabout. Timo Werner for me, very impressed with him as a player. What I've seen, big fan of him. I think he'll suit the Premier League very well. He's a great finisher.
Absolutely.
With the chances that Chelsea have been putting on a plate for Tammy Abraham, who needs about 50 to score 1. I think
Werner will lap them up.
Snap those up, no hesitation.
Gobble.
So, yeah. So Timo Werner, and then top for me, personally, no hesitation here. It's Harry Kane. I
Yeah.
think Harry Kane will want. This is his time to prove a point. I think again.
Kane's always up there, but this season he's been struggling with injury a lot, so that's the only reason he's not been up there this year. We're the same on 2, which is Werner and Kane.
Okay, yeah.
I think, same with Werner. I think he's absolutely unbelievable player, and I think he'll be a bit like when Costa came in for them. And he's just finishing everything. And I'm going to swap Aguero with Aubameyang. But yeah, not much.
It's very
in it,
hard
I think.
to pick the third one. I think.
Yeah, Aguero doesn't always. He's not necessarily the first name on the team sheet.
Last few years, it's been injuries, which is a problem.
It's a shame.
I think
really.
Without the injuries, he's first name on the team sheet. I think. Yeah.
But I'm saying that based on Guardiola liking to change it every other week, more than ability-wise. But yeah, I think Aubameyang is Arsenal's only major goal source, and all the balls go to him, and he's just a natural finisher. So yeah, I see him getting top 3.
Fair point. Fair play.
Transfer flop.
I've got 2.
I've got 2. This is who we think isn't gonna set the world on fire.
Actually, I've got 2, and then one which is very rogue. But
okay, go for it.
So first 2, I think we'll probably both be on agreement with this one.
Okay.
I wonder if this is your. How many do you have? 2.
I've got 2. Mine's a bit.
I wonder
obscure,
if your 2 are going to be the same. But for me, mine has been Rodrigo at Leeds.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, like we were discussing it in our group chat earlier that his goal record is actually dire. Scored 6 goals last
basically
season.
Eric Dyer.
29 million for 6 goals in a season. It's not for me, I'm afraid.
For 29 million, I think you could get a lot better.
You could get a lot better. For someone who's never played in the Prem either.
Yeah, well, he did play for Bolton under Allardyce.
Of course he did. Yeah, forget that. And he's 29. He's 29 years old. He's not got sell-on value.
Yeah, you could probably get Mitrovic for that. But
is that one of your?
Yeah, that's So
I think we're both in agreement with that one. Now, my other one is Donny van der Beek.
Not for me.
Because I just think in that United team, he might not get that much game time. I think he'll struggle coming from the Dutch league.
Okay.
The speed, and as we've seen with many players, except for Suarez, it seems, Dutch league or Ruud van Nistelrooy and Van Persie as well. They haven't cracked on, and I think he'll find it hard to get in that team. Like we were saying, they're buying in the wrong area. So yeah, for me, I think Donny van der Beek could struggle. I think he might be a Memphis Depay-esque for Man United. Yeah.
I don't.
My third rogue one.
Go on then.
This one is very rogue, and I'm willing to be proven wrong here. But I think Hakim Ziyech.
Okay. Same reason.
Gives me massive Memphis Depay vibes.
He was mustard against Brighton. I will say that.
He was. He did look good, but and then he went off injured. But for me, he just gives. Thank you, Solly March. So I win the league-winning title for Man City, and you lose out because you've said them to win. Chelsea to win the league, and when I don't, when March has done Ziyech's ACL.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. He just gives me Memphis Depay vibes, and I think the pace could catch up with him quickly. But I'm willing to be proven wrong on both him and Van der Beek. But I think Rodrigo will be the big one.
Well, I've put Ziyech in my fantasy team, so that says all I need to say. I think it'll get things ticking for Chelsea, I think. My other flop is going to be, you could argue he's not been brought to start, but Tomaskas for Liverpool.
Oh, right, yeah.
The left back.
Who the fuck is that?
Yeah. Now the reason I've said him is because if the inevitable happens and Robertson has to miss a game, I think he's just not going to be Robertson. The whole Liverpool dynamic is ruined, and
If you don't have Trent and Robertson together, he
yeah,
could come into a lot of stick, couldn't he?
yeah,
I think
that's exactly the avenue I'm going down.
I wouldn't
But
say flop as much, but
yeah,
someone who can get a
you
lot
could
of stick.
argue he's not going to be a starter, but and also I'm basing it on the fact that when Arsenal played Olympiacos, Pepe had him on toast.
Yeah.
So,
Until you inevitably lost 2-1.
if I speak, I
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
but
Yeah, he didn't have any involvement in the goal, so.
yeah, we will forget about that. That's in the past. Moving swiftly on to one to watch.
Yeah, so I've got a few to watch.
This is
Yeah, if you go first.
Just to clarify, one to watch is what it says on tin. Who we reckon is gonna have a breakthrough slash a good season. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe somebody who's been brought in as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 4 here. How many do you have?
Okay. I've got 3. So
I've got Eze for Palace.
yeah, that was one of mine as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, Eze.
Oh, he's just such a skillful player. Joy to watch. I think.
Do you know if they do sell Zaha this summer, I think he'd be a perfect replacement for him.
Not so much a wide player though, is he?
No, he's not as wide, but but Zaha's played down the middle in the last few seasons a fair bit.
Yeah, the link up he'll achieve with Zaha, I think he's a great addition.
No, I really like him for QPR. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, and his goal contributions were unbelievable.
Yeah.
So skillful, but yeah. And then I've gone for, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation here, but Dinetpro for Southampton.
Didn't know, but anyway, carry on.
He's from Mali.
Okay. Oh yes.
Yeah.
He was there last season.
Injured heavily, but I reckon he's going to stay fit this season. And
yeah, he did. He scored those 2 goals, which were basically carbon copies of each other.
Yeah, they're very good goals.
United
I think he's a great player. Southampton have just got a habit of finding African players from
or just unearthing them from the sort of the Bundesliga.
Yeah, or the Austrian league or whatever.
Yeah.
Turn them into starlets. I think it's going to be another one of them.
I think that's fair.
He was very good when he wasn't injured.
Yeah.
So kicking on, I'm going to say.
Excellent.
And then probably you've got the same here, Greenwood.
No, I haven't.
You haven't got Greenwood.
No, because I suppose he is one to watch.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's already been one to watch.
Okay. Yeah.
Towards the end of last season, if that makes sense.
Greenwood, his finishing is just absolutely phenomenal, and he's scary. So watch out for him.
Yeah.
And my last one is Yves Bissouma.
Yeah, I think that's a really good shout. It's not the same as me, but I think it's going to be one to watch this season.
He's still very young. I think he turned 23 the other day.
Yeah, 23. Yeah.
Goes under the radar heavily. And me and Jack.
It was huge for us after lockdown.
You don't necessarily get to see all the stuff that he does on telly, but if you see him in real life, he works really hard.
He carries the ball forward so much. He gets down and dirty, and he's a workhorse. Yeah, he's quite hard.
He's on the ball as well. Easily the best at the club, I'd say.
Yeah.
Bags of skills.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your one?
So obviously we've got one of them, which was
Eze.
Yeah, Eze. So I won't go on him. So then we're Grady Diangana, West Ham / West Brom, whichever one he stays at.
Yeah.
I think he's really good player in the Championship. From a West Brom team that didn't really have that much to be excited about, shall we say? He obviously stood out massively and really pushed on and played well, and I have to say it's very disappointing that West Ham have kept him, because I think, seen with us and Ben White, you've got to keep your best players.
Oh yeah. Well,
don't sell them on.
the point that
it's a lack of ambition.
The point that Brighton have made about Ben White is that he went to Leeds to
get better.
For us.
But you do wonder with Dean Garner whether he actually left West Ham because they didn't want him.
Yeah.
That was him done. And I think that is what the case was.
Well, that'd be hugely disappointing for West Ham fans.
Yeah, because I think he'll be one to watch this season. He'll do really well in what I say is a West Brom team with not too much to get excited about, other than maybe Pereira. So, and then another one I go for. So this is my third, is Jason Malumbi, another Brighton midfielder. I think so much emphasis was put on Ben White at Leeds last season.
Yeah.
People who watched him play for Millwall, shout out Dan Godfrey, who I went to uni with, worked at Millwall for a while to do with their press.
Might be a good guest to get on.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it one day, Dan. But no, he was really, really consistent, did really well. Millwall fans have loved him. So I think he'll do really well this season. I'd really like to see him come into the squad and start to play.
I think the best people to talk about players that have been on loan are the fans, because to me the fans' opinion is, well, not all of them. Arsenal Fan TV, maybe not, but
you say that though. Even the manager, he rates him very highly. Gary Rowett really liked him. Neil Harris before that really liked him. Okay. And that's two managers who really liked him. So, and Millwall did very well last season. So, and he played a lot of their games. I don't think he played every week because he was still quite young. But I'd like to see him brought into the squad. I'd like to see him brought into the squad.
He's broken into the Ireland team. So.
Yeah, and I'd like to see him get a consistent bench place, definitely, for me. And then the fourth one is another Brighton player I've gone for. One who I wouldn't say, is unknown to the Premier League scene, but I feel like it's going to be his year this year. Stephen Alzate.
Oh, love that.
Play anywhere across the pitch. So if we don't sign a left back, I wouldn't be surprised to see him being left wing back.
Really hope not.
And I hope not, because I think he's consistent there. He can play well there. Let's not. He's a good player there, and at right wing back as well. But I think in midfield he's just very on it. He's got a very good footballing mind. I think he'll definitely be in competition with Stevens, Proper, Gross, and Lallana, and Basuma and Malumbi for that sort of good pool of 6 players.
Excellent against Chelsea.
Chelsea in the first half. So yeah, for me, Stephen Alzate.
Love that.
I was talking about signing a new midfielder in the summer, but looking at what we've got as options,
upon reflection, we've got a lot.
So yeah, for me, I think he's going to do really well and crack on. I think that'll be it could be his real breakthrough year, this one.
Golden Glove.
Golden Glove. Do you know what? I haven't actually put anyone down for this on my spreadsheet, on my Word document, so I'm going to have to think this one up. You go first.
I have gone for Emi Martinez. Now, you could
this
say
is down to the consistency of the defence, though.
Yeah,
I think
it's for the reason that I stated, that Arsenal seem to be much better at seeing out a win. Just look at the FA Cup. They went ahead in games against Chelsea and Man City, and they parked the bus. And they saw the team. I'm saying and a lot, but they went 1-0 up against Man City in the semi-final. Got absolutely battered for about 70 minutes.
They're looking a lot more organised under Arteta than they've been for a good number of years.
I think, we've got that. Arsenal have got that solid defence, and then the way Martinez has been playing, those 1 or 2 saves that you need your keeper to make, he's been making them. So
Yeah.
And I'd love him
I
to do
agree.
it because he's been in the dregs of the squad. Third choice sometimes for 10 years now. He's been at the
League
club.
Cup keeper.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's a fair point. I think it's obviously hard to pick between what best
But
goalkeeper and Golden Glove, because Golden Glove depends so much on the defence.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it'll be Edison again. I think he's the best keeper in the league, and I think his team are just going to be solid at the back with Laporte for the whole season. So I'm just going to have a quick one on that. There's too much to say.
You could argue that Alisson would have got it this year if he wasn't
I just think their defence is too leaky. So yeah, that's the reason why I picked Edison.
Not to be sniffed at.
No, I think he could. Yeah, he's there because of his defence is so solid in front of him. So yeah.
Best defender.
For me personally, with no bias intended, it's between two actually. It's between Lewis Dunk or James Tarkowski.
Okay.
I think they're the two most consistent centre backs. I think Lewis Dunk is better though because he has a lot more to his game than just defending. Whereas Tarkowski is a brick wall, but I don't think anybody is a brick wall as good as Tarkowski. But
He's absolute meathead.
Dunk's got the play to his game, great through balls. He got as many assists as Zaha last season.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
So 3, but
Mate.
He's got great passing, and some of his balls out of defence are fantastic.
Yeah.
So for me, Lewis Dunk can't look any further than that.
I've got 2. I've got the cop out, which is Van Dijk.
Yeah. I tried not to do a cop out answer. Van Dijk is probably the best defender in the league.
And my non-cop out answer is going to be Kieran Tierney.
Okay, yeah, that's a very good shout.
He is. I love his passion and tenacity.
From what I saw of him, he was
crossing.
very good.
He's not afraid to get down and dirty, basically.
Only issue for him is injury consistency.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I fully predict him to put that behind him and kick on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Well, I hope he does.
Shout.
Most assists.
You first, of course.
Paul Pogba.
Okay. We've gone for the same team, if you wondered. So,
Well, I'm guessing you put Fernandes.
I put Fernandes,
and it was between the two for me.
I think Pogba, it just depends whether, and I think he could be this season, the season where he sort of puts his sort of issues behind him at Man United. And just
this is why I've put it.
Yeah, and I think when he is on his game, he is probably the best midfielder in the league.
Yeah, I just see him to be the one feeding rather than Fernandes. I think Fernandes is the one to
he likes to
finish
shoot.
Them. Yeah.
I think you're right. Fernandes, I've gone for Fernandes just because there's so many clips of him just literally passing the ball to someone, and then they take on about 10 players and bang it in the net. It's like
a bit of a Busquets.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think exactly. Pass it to Messi and he will score. But no, I do genuinely think he's a very good playmaker. And behind that sort of front four that Man United had towards the end of last season of Rashford, Martial, Greenwood on the other side with Fernandes in behind, it did very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me.
Best midfielder.
I think I've weirdly gone for a different player. I've gone for Phil Foden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this will be his year, and there's a massive David Silva shaped hole. Perfect for Phil Foden to walk directly into. Play similar positions. Really like what I saw from him towards the end of last season. Play really consistently, really well. He looks fantastic. He is like David Silva.
Yeah, in a team of superstars, he was the one picking up the goals towards the end.
And I think it will be his time to move in. And it's obvious that Man City have that view for him.
Yeah,
because they haven't brought in another midfielder. No, and obviously David Silva is a huge hole. Like he's one of their. And I think not like when people are taking the piss out of Man City for wanting to build a statue of David Silva. He's one of their best players of all time.
Oh,
and
well,
I think
100%.
And I think genuinely he's probably one of the best players in the Premier League we've had from abroad of the last even 20 years.
If he's not the best, then it's Richard Dunn. But there's not much between
Yeah,
them.
there's not much between Richard Dunn, Alano,
Yeah.
Joe. When they had a bit of an Everton time of it.
But nah.
Yeah, no, I
Instrumental
think
to their.
he'll come into his own this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best forward. All round. I know, sort of the
You
same
didn't say your
as.
best midfielder. Would you agree with
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Paul
Kante.
Pogba, yeah.
Kante.
Oh, you've gone for Kante.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Reason
fair enough.
being, he's going to be there to do his old role, which is, you know what Kante does. He's what's the saying? 85% of the world is covered by water.
Water barrier. Yeah.
The rest is N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, exactly. He covers everything. No, I do agree. He's a good player. I do think it could be his last season of consistency though this year.
The point I was going to make is he's got the superstars around him now. He's got the Ziyech, the Werner, the Kovacic. He can just protect now.
Yeah, it's a fair. No, I'd agree. Yeah. So
Best forward.
I've gone for Timo Werner.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be top scorer, but I just think he is a complete forward. He can drop out wide. He's a great finisher. Runs through the middle. He's quick. He's got a little bit of heading about him. I don't know how tall he is actually. I don't
6
think
foot, I believe.
Yeah, so that's going to do great for him. So yeah, for me, it's going to be Timo Werner. I think he's going to prove to the world why everybody's been chasing him for the last 3 or 4 years.
For me, now I've written down Aubameyang, but I don't want to say it anymore. I'm just going to agree with Werner because.
Are you? Okay, yeah. The more you think about it, the more you like it.
Yeah, I think
he might turn out to be a bit of a Roberto Soldado because the last striker I bigged up this much, I put him in my fantasy team. I went, he's gonna wipe the floor with this league. Was Roberto Soldado.
Oof.
I think he got about 4 goals all season, most of them penalties. So fully prepared for this Werner hype to blow up in my face.
Nah, I think it's.
I can't see it. It'll be very hard.
Fully founded.
He's not in my fantasy team though. So.
Oh, he's in mine. I think.
No, he's not in it yet. So.
Get him
I
in.
might do a bit of rearranging. I did my fantasy team while very drunk.
Consistent theme here.
Yeah.
I've got Werner. He's my captain. Excellent.
Fair enough.
And
I think I put Kane in. So.
Breakthrough year.
I still think Kane will be top goal scorer.
Okay.
Still think Kane will be top goal scorer. But best forward will be Werner.
Okay.
Yeah. And the final one,
breakthrough year.
So I think I've touched upon this. Foden, I think this will be his big breakthrough year.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably one which would probably be better in one to watch, but I think with Nathan Ferguson for Palace, I think he will be consistently in the team, so he could break through at Palace very well. It's probably better of being in one to watch, but instead of Alzate, let's say. But I think with Joel Ward, he's in his mid-30s now. I mean, he's all they've got, and I think he'll play over Joel Ward any day of the week.
Yeah.
The only question with him is injuries, and why West Brom were willing to let him go on a free rather than take a fee for him in January seems a bit odd business model there. But there you go.
Yeah.
But then in terms, I think Foden, I think Greenwood will be very consistent. I think he could be high up. I think Harvey Barnes.
That's my one. That's my one.
Really impressed with him of what I've seen from him this season.
I think.
But there've been times where he's sort of drifted
product away from being.
I think he's drifted in and out at times, and he might be a little bit further away from at the level he was. So this season he might not quite have been at level, but I think 1 year would have done him good.
Yeah,
I think there'll
absolutely.
be players like that this season who've had their first year. I think Morpay could break on to be even better than he was last year as well. That's another shout.
He had a bold claim that he wants to replicate
his first year at Brentford. Yeah.
Scored 10 goals.
But don't let him anywhere near a penalty ever again.
Oh God.
But So I think
stinker against Chelsea.
He could have a breakthrough year. Connolly, I reckon, could kick on with a few more goals than the 4 he scored last season. 3 in the Prem, which isn't really a good return.
No.
But I think he could. I think with a little bit of, a lot of these players have had their year. It's sort of Che Adams, another one. Who I think have had their year to sort of get used to it. For me, that's how I think it'll work.
Very exciting prospect and season coming up.
You? Any I haven't mentioned?
No, you covered them. Foden and Harvey Barnes.
Foden. Yeah.
I think Harvey Barnes is going to get the end product that he's lacking last year. I mean,
definitely.
You can't deny his ability taking on players, causing trouble, but needs more goals and assists.
Maybe some of the Spurs players as well, I think, who were brought in last season, like Dembele and Lo Celso, could maybe get a bit more of an opportunity this year.
Tango.
Yeah, Tanguy.
Yeah.
Tanguy.
Tanguy.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's what I think. I do think a lot of that would be interesting to see. It's going to be a big season this year.
Yeah.
It feels like the whole world is focusing, like I was saying earlier, on the Premier League. The Premier League does seem like, the super product.
Interestingly, as well, the transfer window eclipse. What's the word I'm looking for? It carries on past the start of the league, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So
mid-October almost. So.
Yeah, that could also throw a spanner in the works.
So yeah. No, it will be. So I think that's it, isn't it?
That's our Premier League predictions.
Probably a long boy.
Yeah, we've got a nice long one to make up for the short one last week.
Where I almost fell asleep.
But hey, we got something out, which is more than can be said for Jeffrey Epstein when he's not shagging a minor. Sorry.
Yeah. That's going to be cut. So that's fine.
Allegedly.
Yeah. No, I don't. Well, no. Anyway, less Epstein, more finishing.
Which is what he did after the massages.
Yeah. Yes. Well, quite.
Anywho, that's for another podcast.
But we've got some more interesting content coming out.
Yep.
We'll be following the FA Cup from the early stages this year. So we went to the extra qualifying round, which is coming in a video on the 12th of September. I'm sure Andy will be up for it. We've got the next qualifying round, and Andy, can we put a poll on videos? This might actually be a good idea.
Kick the Instagram page off.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there are 2 games which you could potentially go to, which are Stenning or East Grinstead Town. So if
East
we can
Grinstead have got a lot of money pumped into them, to be fair.
So who would you rather go see?
Yeah. Comment below.
We might not. If you pick East Grinstead, we might not listen to you and just go to Stenning because it is a lot further away.
Yeah.
But just vote. Now everyone's just going to vote for East Grinstead Town, aren't they? But
no, don't influence their vote. Oh, I don't want to go to Stenning. Please don't vote Stenning.
No, don't go to Stenning. Stenning's such a dump. It's Calvary, I think. So yeah, and it's catchable to the bus. Even if you vote for East Grinstead Town, we're probably still going to go to Stenning. So laugh all you want, you gimps.
It's our fans calling gimps.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
We'll cap this off because we are rambling.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow our Instagram page where you can vote on this poll.
Yeah, that we're not going to listen to.
We will listen. I'll honour it.
No, we will listen.
We're going to put a poll up. We're going to honour it.
We'll listen and we'll disagree.
This has been episode 6 of the Tiki Chatter podcast.
I don't want to keep on doing this. This is something I like doing. Camera.
Have a go yourself down below. Because me and Jack would both enjoy seeing what everyone else has to say. Minus the Brighton bias.
Yeah, exactly.
And Arsenal bias, I guess.
Yeah. And you too can be embarrassed when the final day comes.
Yeah, exactly. Because these always go wrong. we're fully accepting of
And Werner has scored 2 in 17.
He's a complete Fernando Torres.
Yeah.
Anyway,
When he was at Chelsea.
Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.